Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasuni Balachandra.
A very good evening to you indeed. I'm Shehara Hera. Now let's first have a look at the headlines for tonight.
The President comes to National Rupavahini. The highest building in South Asia, the Lotus Tower, will be handed over to the people tomorrow. If no value is given to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, he is ready to show the value to the party, President says. Prime Minister emphasizes that the country cannot be developed through dictatorship.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena joined today as a special invitee as a song critic of the Sihiniya Kira musical program, which is a production of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation and has become extremely popular. On arrival at the National Rupavahini premises, he was welcomed by its chairperson, Inoka Satyangani Kirtinanda, and Director General Saranga Vijayaratna. This time, the Sihiniya Kira program is being held as Abhises Mangalyaya. The creative director of this program is Mahesh Nisanka and is directed by Jamini Ilek Peruma. The President said that it was an important day for him as well as for everyone else. He said that he gets such an opportunity only very rarely. He said he prefers to listen to songs freely and he's also happy that he was able to join the Sihiniya Kira program.
කලාතුරකින් ලැබෙන්නෙම නැහැ. ඒක නිසා මම හුඟක් සතුටු වෙනවා සිහිනය කිරෑ සමග එක් වෙන්න ලැබීම ගැන.
The musical program of Sihiniya Kira recorded today is due to be telecast on National Rupavahini at 10:10 p.m. on the 22nd of this month.
Now, President Maithripala Sirisena says that if no value is given to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, he is ready to show the value of the party. He expressed these views while addressing the Ratnapura District Conference of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. This is the first conference of the series of district conferences of the SLFP. The conference had been organized under the theme Ruwanpura Theenduwa Hariyatata. A group including senior leaders of the party participated in the conference. The President stated that in the Pohot tour at village level there are members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. He stated that they are the ones who are keeping the members of the Pohot tour in Parliament even as of today. It is because of a letter by parliamentarian Mahinda Amaraweera today the Pohot tour parliamentary group remains in Parliament. Both parties, the President said, are inviting them to join an alliance. He stated that they have not held discussions with the UNP. The reason is because there are many transactions that we cannot solve with them. As the SLFP, several rounds of talks have been held with the Pohot tour. He said that the discussions are about a procedure which they could accept and be happy about. Within these discussions, if someone is trying to underestimate the SLFP, the President stated that everyone is ready to show each person's value to everybody.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the country cannot be developed through dictatorship. The Prime Minister emphasizes that the massive development carried out during the past few years in the country did not need dictatorship or semi-dictatorship. The Prime Minister made this comment at a function to hand over permanent appointment letters to 5,000 Samruddhi development officers held at the Temple Trees today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he would like to mention that after 20 years, it was during this time that the number of Samruddhi beneficiaries had been increased. He said that at the same time as the government, the allowances given to Samruddhi beneficiaries have also been increased. Something that no one could do in 5 years was done by this government to provide relief to the people. Similarly, things were done to strengthen their lives. This, the Premier said, was an important part of social service. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe said that subsequent to independence, an investment that was not done before was carried out on behalf of this social service.
වෙනත් පක්ෂයක ඉඳලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ කිව්වද? ඒ මොකුත් නැහැ. මේ නිදහස් ක්‍රමයක් යටතේ තමයි මේ මුදල් වියදම් කරේ. සමහරු කියන අපිට ඒකාධිපති බලතල ඕන අපිට මේ බලය ගත්තාම වැඩේ කරන්න කියලා. අපි වැඩේ කළා තියෙනවා ඒ බලේ නැතුව. වෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි. ලංකා ඉතිහාසයේ නිදහසෙන් පස්සේ බහුතරයක් නැති එකම ආණ්ඩුව මේක. කොහොම හරි වැටෙන්නේ නැතුව අවුරුදු 4ක් ගෙනිච්චා. ඇයි මේ වැඩ ටික කරන්න ඕනේ නිසා ජනතාවට. දැන් කියනවා ඒකාධිපති වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒකාධිපතියෙක් ඕන රට හදන්න කියලා මේව හැදුවේ ඒකාධිපතිය. මේ ටික අවුරුදු 5 කරේ. මේ තුමා ඒකාධිපතියෙක්ද අවුරුදු 20ක් දෙන්න බැරි වුණේ සමෘද්ධිය දුන්නේ.
Ministers Wajra Bewardhana P. Harrison, Ali Sahir Maulana and Deputy Minister Anoma Gamage were present on this occasion.
And now 4 reawakened villages constructed at Hambantota were vested in the people today. These villages were built under the Samara Sevana Yali Pividana Udagammana program. The villages are named Sathos Matagama, Sri Kata Mavgama, Sasiri Magama and Sases Matagama. These were handed over to the public under the patronage of Minister Sajid Premadasa. These were the 283rd, 284th, 285th and 286th model villages handed over to the people. The number of houses built was 77 and a sum of 84 million rupees was spent in this connection. A number of other common services were carried out in conjunction with this function.
Minister of Finance Mangala Samaravira has ordered the Commissioner General of Excise to hold an investigation immediately how licenses have been issued for liquor outlets without informing the minister in charge of the subject. The minister has said that the relevant report should be handed over within 2 weeks. The procedure followed by the Excise Department so far every time a liquor license is issued is to either obtain approval from the minister in charge of the subject or inform him. However, Excise Department has issued 10 new liquor licenses for the year 2017 and 74 licenses for the year 2018. According to the provisions of the Excise Ordinance Act, it is reported that the Minister of Finance was not informed nor had his approval been obtained. Commissioner General of Excise H.G. Sumanasinghe said that based on the orders of the Minister of Finance, an investigation has already been launched. If it is confirmed that corruption has taken place when license was issued or licenses were issued to non-qualified people, he said that steps will be taken to cancel the relevant licenses. No liquor manufacturing license has been issued during this year, and the Commissioner General of Excise said that media reports that 4 such licenses will be issued is completely false.
And now the government says it is keen to resume the ferry service with India. The Prime Minister's office had made this statement after a meeting held between Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and a visiting Indian delegation recently. The meeting with 7-member Indian parliamentary delegation, the Prime Minister stated that keen interest of the government to resume the ferry service, and the ferry service resumed in 2011 linking Thoothukudi in Tamil Nadu and Colombo, but it was suspended due to less traffic. The government has showed the interest to sign a MOU with India to resume a ferry service between both countries following the signing of the agreement. The ferry service is expected to operate between Tamil Nadu and Jaffna.
Dinesh Thodangoda has been invited to participate representing Sri Lanka at the 4th Asia-Europe Counter-Terrorism Dialogue to be held in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Dinesh Thodangoda is the president of the National Media Centre of the Defence Ministry and a senior presidential director. The conference under the theme The Civil Organization Corporation for Countering Violent Extremism and Terrorism will be held from 17th to the 19th of this month. Thirangara is a Fulbright Scholarship recipient on national security and is a postgraduate on global security of the British Royal Army College. He has served for several years as a researcher regarding use of media by terrorists and suicide terrorism at the British Newcastle University Centre for Terrorism and Political Violence at the St Andrews University in Scotland, and is a professional lawyer and also is a former member of Parliament.
And now Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka says that Brazil is committed to enhance bilateral cooperation with Sri Lanka in many sectors, including economic and defence spheres. He made these remarks while addressing a function held in Colombo recently on the occasion of Brazil's Independence Day. Brazil gained its independence from Portugal on the 7th of September in 1822. Brazilians around the world celebrated the 197th Independence Day anniversary this year. A special reception was organized by the Embassy of Brazil to Sri Lanka to mark the occasion under the patronage of Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka, Winston Alexander Silva. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Arjuna Ranatunga was the chief guest of the evening. Many ambassadors, high commissioners and other invitees also graced the occasion. Brazil's acting ambassador to Sri Lanka and Minister Ranatunga addressed the gathering.
The similar historical trade between Brazil and Sri Lanka, due in part to the Portuguese influence, is still felt today in several things that our two nations share. Just to mention one of these similarities, take, for instance, some family names we can find here as well as in Brazil. Pereira, meaning pear tree, or Fonseca, meaning dry well. Almeida, a name of a Portuguese city, and of course, the Silva, or Silva, just like me, meaning forest. It is interesting to note, by the way, that every time I introduce myself to a local here, I am asked, "Are you Sri Lankan?" And then I reply, "No, but I think I have many relatives here." That little boy there, my son, the baby that you have seen around this ballroom, was born here in Sri Lanka. So he is Sri Lanka and he is Silva. Diplomatic relations between Brazil and Sri Lanka began in 1960. After 40 years, the Brazilian embassy resumed its activities as a resident mission in 2007, and ever since, the bilateral relations have intensified in various fields, such as political, trade, consular and military. It is in the cultural area, however, that the Brazilian embassy has been focusing even more attention nowadays. The reason is that we believe culture is perhaps one of the primary vehicles for bringing people together. In the case of Brazil and Sri Lanka, the many similarities that they both have allow this process of cultural approach to be even more irresistible. In this sense, I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to the Brazilian Film Festival that will take place later this month in Colombo. In addition to that, from the 3rd to the 12th October, the public will have the opportunity to enjoy some delicious Brazilian dishes at the Hilton Colombo residence, where renowned chefs from Brazil will bring some of our best flavors to Sri Lanka. And in 2020, when Brazil and Sri Lanka will celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations, we hope to intensify the cultural exchanges between the two countries further.
The bond between the two nations have significantly strengthened. Over the years, we have had many opportunities of dialogue and cooperation, which have resulted in number of bilateral agreements as well as multiple memoranda of understanding on broad spectrum of areas. Whilst our two nations are geographically distant from each other, Sri Lanka places great importance proactively engage with allies in Latin America. Among the many things that we have in common, there is one particular that is close to my heart, and that is our passion for sport. We may not dominate in football. Sri Lanka prides itself on the exceptional cricketing talent. Sri Lanka is committed and elevated our relations with Brazil to more dynamic partnership, and I am confident that our ties of friendship and close engagement will flourish for betterment of both our nations.
A gazette notification with the name of Shanta Bandara included has been issued by the Elections Commission to fill the vacant post of the national list of the United People's Freedom Alliance. It was on the 12th September that the General Secretary of the UPFA Member of Parliament Mahinda Amaravira sent the name of former Member of Parliament Shanta Bandara once again to the Elections Commission. That was based on the Elections Commission asking that the name of a qualified person to be nominated for the vacant Member of Parliament post. Subsequent to the demise of Member of Parliament of the Kurunegala district Salinda Disanayaka, Shanta Bandara resigned from his post as a parliamentarian. He is the next in line in the alliance list with the highest number of votes. The Lotus Tower, which is the tallest building in South Asia and is in 18th position where height is concerned in the world, will be declared open under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena tomorrow.
The Sky Tree, which is located in Tokyo, Japan, is considered as the tallest tower in the world. It brings huge dignity to the city. In addition, Toronto Tower in Canada, KL Towers in Malaysia, considered as iconic images of the cities. From tomorrow onwards, the Lotus Tower will also be an iconic image of the Colombo city.
The Lotus Tower, which is 1,168 feet in height, is taller by 105 feet than the Eiffel Tower in France. It consists of 30,600 square feet and comprises of 4 entrances. The ground floor, which is 100,000 square feet, has been planned to be used for shops. It consists of 5 floors, a museum, trade stalls, lobbies for visitors, administrative offices, swimming pools, a kitchen and generators. There are 8 elevators in the tower. 3 of them travel at a speed of 7 meters per second, and it is reported that they are the fastest elevators in Sri Lanka. The top section of the Lotus Tower comprises of 2 floors and will be used to construct television and radio control rooms. In the floor above that, 2 halls where 350 can be seated have been built. The 5th floor has a revolving restaurant which can supply facilities for 250 people. There are also 6 luxury rooms with modern facilities. Above that is a viewing area. It is of significance that the tower has been constructed so that it is possible to fix communication equipment. The aspiration of the government is to productively use the Lotus Tower, which was built with an investment of $104 million for the communication field and the tourism industry in this country. Production of the live telecast of the opening of the Lotus Tower will be covered by the National Rupavahini.
Now we are at the rotating restaurant of the Lotus Tower. This place is also open for the public from tomorrow onwards.
And now the Palali Airport, which is being developed as a regional and international airport, has been 70% completed. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation Services say that it has been planned to complete the construction on the first stage by the 10th of next month. It is a road development authority that is carrying out construction of the first stage of the Palali Airport. The construction is being carried out by the Airport and Aviation Services Company and it has been completed 55%. All construction of the basic plan has already been completed. Minister Arjuna Rantunga engaged in a tour to observe the construction today. The plan of the government is to begin ceremoniously the international flight services at the Palali Airport either on the 16th of next month or a nearer date. The construction of the airport runways, the main operations tower, the fire brigade section, the terminal building and the generators systems buildings are nearing completion. The minister thanked workers for engaging in construction on holidays as well as requested that it be completed by the said date. And now the Met Department says that rainy weather will prevail in the upcoming days as well. Certain areas could experience rains between 75 and 100 millimeters. The Met Department says that an active cloud system is prevalent in sea areas of the southwest and southern coast of the island. As a result of this, heavy rain could be experienced from Berwala to Galle and through Matara up to Hambantota in deep and shallow sea areas off the coast. The speeds of winds could increase up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. Fishing and naval communities are warned to be on alert since the sea areas could turn rough all of a sudden. This afternoon, the town of Havutale was entirely covered in mist. There was an obstruction to traffic movement from the beginning of Beragala Hill to Badulla Colombo Main Road. Police have informed motorists to be cautious since the road is slippery. Due to the heavy rains falling continuously from last night in Hambantota, several roads and low-lying areas have been inundated. Tangol, Hambantota Main Road, Hungama, Batata area and feet under water. Several houses have also been flooded. Several roads in the Galle district have been inundated due to heavy rains. Our correspondent says that this is due to strong impacts on daily lives of the people.
2 women were injured in an explosion that took place in a house at Samanwatta, Mahavila Lane, Dematagoda. The explosion had taken place at about 8:45 this morning. The police said the explosion had occurred due to a leak in a gas cylinder. The 2 injured women were admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. Investigations into the accident are underway. Police media spokesman Superintendent of Police Ron Gunasekara said that there had been a gas cylinder with a leak on the ground floor of the house and the housewife had not operated the switch of the gas cooker but struck a match to light it. During investigations and evidence from witnesses, it is apparent that as the match was lit, the explosion had taken place.
Now, 20 persons sustained injuries in an accident that took place at Sembatte on the Putlam Chilau Main Road. It is reported that the condition of the 4 individuals is critical. The accident had taken place last night. The accident happened when a bus attempted to overtake a motorcycle and collided with a 3-wheeler. With the accident, the bus had flipped over to the road. The injured were admitted to the Putlam Base Hospital. Several who were in critical condition have been transferred to the Colombo National Hospital. It was a bus carrying people to the Talavila Church that was returning to Gampaha, which met with the accident. 6 vehicles have collided with each other close to the Kahatudu axis on the Southern Expressway. As a result, it was reported that there was severe traffic congestion this evening on the direction towards Colombo. The speed limit on the Southern Expressway has been reduced to 60 km per hour due to the inclement weather.
Subsequent to the Indo-Lanka naval training exercises, the ships Sindhurala and Suranimala reached the island. That was after a 10-day exercise. The 2 ships left the island on the 5th and the Sindhurala ship reached the Trincomalee Naval Base yesterday. The Suranimala ship reached the Colombo port today and the Navy welcomed the ships according to naval traditions. Senior officers of the Navy were present to welcome back their ships. The naval training exercise was held at Vishakhapatnam in India and the ships Kukri and Sumedha of the Indian Navy joined in. The exercise comprised of various activities on the coast and in the seas. Several exercises related to positioning ships, sailing as a contingent and exchange of messages were carried out.
And now with that update on sports, we conclude today's news live on Channel I. Do join us tomorrow at the very same time.
Good night.